This morning I went for a walk in the park and I watched two crows building a nest. They were gathering twigs and they both had their mouths absolutely full of twigs. And I was a bit worried that when I stopped to look at them, they were a bit perturbed and they stopped gathering twigs. But then they flew off with their twigs. They both flew to the same nest and then fluttered about in the nest. So it looked like they were managing to actually use the twigs to build their nest, which was great. I really enjoy watching the crows in the park. Another time I saw them, all of the crows, several crows in the park. What they kept doing, I was first alerted to it because I heard this strange metallic clanking noise. I kept hearing this metallic clanking, and then what I realised was that there were two little gas canisters, like the kind you use for a soda stream, that were being moved around the park by the crows. What would happen is one crow would pick up one of these canisters because they were really shiny, but they were also kind of heavy. So a crow, when it picked one of these up, wouldn't fly that high in the air. It would stay quite low to the ground, presumably because it was heavy. And then after a while, it would just give up and drop it. And as soon as one crow dropped it, which created the clanking sound, then another crow would swoop in, pick it up and carry it a little way and then drop it. And then another crow would swoop in, carry it away and drop it. And all of these canisters were being moved around the park by these crows chasing each other and dropping them. It was just, I just enjoyed watching it. Crows are actually very clever and they're quite cool. If you spot crows, pay attention to what they're doing. They're interesting to watch. When I'm not watching the crows, I watch the squirrels. And the thing about the squirrels that still bothers me is I really enjoy watching them because they're just cute. And I love the way they move. I love the way their tails move. But I have got no idea where they live. I'm always trying to follow them and work out where they actually live. But I still haven't managed to work that out. One time I heard a kind of a squawking noise and I thought it was something like a parrot. But I looked around and it was a squirrel halfway up a tree kind of barking at me. And it was just barking, which has a sound a bit like a squawking parrot. I have no idea what that was about either. But every morning I go for a walk in the local park, which luckily I live next door to. And I have my phone with me because sometimes I want to take photos, but I keep it in my pocket. I try to just look at the trees and the squirrels and the crows and see the seasons changing, look at what the trees are doing because it's often different to what it was doing the day before, what the weather's doing, and just have that little break every morning before I start work. And if you wonder why I'm talking about crows and squirrels and parks, it's because I plan to make 66 of these videos and I don't think I'm going to be able to think of 66 different things to say that are anything to do with what I do for a living. So the message from this one is go for a daily walk before you start work. It's a really nice thing to do.